morning, YouTube family. Oh man, this morning for me while I'm taping this video, it feels like 19 degrees. It's actually around 24, but with the wind, they're saying it feels like 19 here in the Northeast. Yeah, man, it's started my morning off kind of on the rough side. You know what I mean? You know, so, you know, I usually wake up around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And my daughter was up this morning getting ready for work. And what I usually do is I'll start her car for her. You know what I mean? While she, you know, right before she leaves, I'll start her car for her so the car is warmed up, so she just doesn't get in it, jump in it, and then leave with a cold engine. So I did the normal routine this morning, and you know, she pulls off, and I was pulling the gate back to close the gate. So I look over at my wife's vehicle, and I'm like, the rear tire looks flat, you know? And so, you know, I went outside the gate, went over there and looked at it, and sure enough, it was almost flat. It's like, oh my God. Straight from there, my attitude went downhill, man. I'm not proud of myself. You know, I went from 0 to 100 in no time. You know what I'm saying? You know, I didn't know I can get so shitty so quick. Well, I did, but I thought I had it under control. You know what I'm saying? So from the gate, you know, I'm asking my wife where her keys are, and she's not moving fast enough. So I said, you know what? I had already told her about the tire, and I knew the air was probably slowly leaking out of it, and it would get to a point where I wouldn't be able to drive it anywhere to put air in it. So so I'm asking her where her keys are, because they aren't where they usually are or where they're supposed to be. And so she's taking her time, you know what I mean, and, you know, not getting up to, you know, look for them. So I said, you know what? You don't be nonchalant about it, I'll be nonchalant about it too. Took my coat off, threw my hat off. Just real shitty about the whole situation right off the bat. So, so she finds the keys. And we have an automatic start. She has an automatic start on her car. So I started it up, let it warm up a little bit. So after it warmed up, I jumped in, and I knew I wasn't going to be able, well, I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it to the gas station that has the free air compressor. There's one right up the street from us. But I thought they charged 50 cents. So I was going to try to avoid them and just go to the free one. So by the time I got in the car and started driving, I said, you know what, I'm going to just spend this 50 cents and get it over with here. So I pulled into the gas station, and there's somebody there, of course, ahead of me. Spanish gentleman. And he's not that matters any bit, but, you know, he's there with the hose in his hand, the air compressor hose, and he's like kind of not doing anything. And I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing? I'm behind him. And so he looks at me, and he has those in, and he goes, and I said, yes. You know, I shook my head, acknowledged, yes, I'm waiting for the hose. So then he does it again. And I'm like, yes, I'm waiting for the hose. So then, you know, he kind of walks around on the side of his vehicle a little bit, and then hangs the hose up and pulls, and then gets in his vehicle and pulls off. So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm real shitty at this point. I'm pissed. So I go to pull the vehicle up to put the air in the tire, and it says $1 for the air. Oh my God. Blew the top off my head. I was pissed off, man. And I only had 75 cents, mind you. So I couldn't use it anyway. So I pull off, go to where the free one is. And this is up the street a ways. You know what I mean? And I didn't even know if I was going to make it, to be honest. So, you know, I finally get to the gas station where it's free, and I see like a clear plastic bag over the air compressor, and I'm like, oh my God, that can only mean one thing. Pull up there, man, out of order. Big out of order sign on it. By this point, I'm boiling, right? So, you know, jump back in the car. There's a gas station across the street. And I knew they had an air compressor, but, you know, it was a pay air compressor. And I'm thinking, you know, this one's got to be at least 50 cents, 75 cents. Go across the street, get there, boom, $1 to use the freaking air compressor. Like I'm ashamed of myself looking back at it, man, because you know, at this point, you know, I'm cursing, I'm just throwing things out of the glove compartment, out of the center console, looking for another quarter so that I could fill this daggone tire up and get it over. Meanwhile, it's freezing out, right? And I know that my hands are gonna be frozen putting this air in this tire once I get a chance to even put the air in the tire. So as I'm looking in the console, I look up, and in the rear view mirror, I see somebody pulling up. I look, and it's the same Spanish dude from the other compressor that I had first went to. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me right now? So I have to move this car with a flat out of the way so that, you know, he could use this air compressor, because I wasn't yet ready to use it because I didn't have the correct amount of change to use it. So I pull up. Meanwhile, I'm pissed off, right? So he pulls up, gets in the position, sits there for a second, and then pulls off, like without even using the air compressor. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill somebody. I'm gonna get incarcerated for manslaughter at this point. Kidding, of course, but so finally I found 2 dimes and a nickel, right? And this machine only takes quarters, right? So I go to the gas station attendant, another Spanish gentleman, and I said, excuse me, do you have a quarter for 2 dimes and a nickel? And his response to me was, no nickel. I'm like, what the? And apparently he didn't speak English too well, and I guess he thought I was asking him for a nickel. So he says, no nickel. Man, I was about to murder somebody right there. Trust me, I was about to commit homicide at this point. So I said, you know what? Whatever, man. There's a Dunkin' Donuts right next to the gas station. I go in there, ask the person behind the counter, I got a case quarter from them. I gave him the 2 dimes and a nickel. She gave me a case quarter. Went back out, put the $1 worth of quarters in the machine, and commenced to putting air in this flat tire. I'm going to continue this in a second. This video recorder is about to stop. It has like a 10 minute max. So I'm putting the air in the tire, and the air is barely enough. The air coming out of there is barely enough to even like get the tire started. I couldn't believe this was happening to me at this point. So I held it on there anyway. Just hoping that it would put some air so I can at least get it home. You know what I mean? And go from there. So as I'm sitting there, I could hear the compressor building up and building up and building up more air. You know what I mean? More pressure. So I'm like, thank God. And until finally it was at full pressure and it was, working. It was putting air in the tire at a fast pace. So there we have it. I'm putting the air in and I'm done. Right? Actually, I wasn't going to stop until the compressor. It was a 3-minute. It says the compressor will stay on for 3 minutes for $1. So after the 3 minutes were up, I stopped putting air in the tire, hung the hose back up, came back to put the cap back on the valve, and I'm hearing air, and I put my finger over the valve, and the hissing sound stopped. So I'm like, the valve stem is loose. That's why the air it came out of this tire. So I hurry up and put the cap back on the valve, drive home, go and get a valve stem tightener, tighten the stem up, no more hissing noise, right? So I'm like, thank God that was what the issue was. But, I just got 4 new tires put on here, you know what I mean? And I took it to Pep Boys, and I guess, maybe the technicians didn't tighten up the valve stem tight enough or whatever. But anyway, I should have exercised. I should have took a deep breath in the middle of all of that and relaxed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like honestly ashamed at how, I was throwing tantrums inside the car and just really angry, man. But, still growing, I guess, So that was my morning, man. And by the time I got home, my hands were frozen. But so far the air is holding up, so I'm pretty sure that was the issue, the valve stem. So I'm happy that it's nothing else and that I have to bring the vehicle back for, because if I have to do that, man, I just don't want to go through all of that. Anyway, that's it, man. I'll holler at y'all a little later. Peace. Yo, you gotta excuse the lighting, man. It's bad in this room. And it's nighttime right now, too, so there's no light coming in from the outside. I'm just chilling here, man, wrapping up my day. I got the house to myself along with my dog, Rocky. You know what I mean? My wife and the girls are out celebrating my wife's aunt's birthday. I think it's her 100th birthday. Yeah, they're out celebrating that, man, and I decided not to go. It's really not my scene. You know what I mean? It's really not my thing. Although I did want to go and honor her aunt, but it just wasn't my thing. So I stayed home. Today, I did some editing, some trial and error stuff. I'm learning some new things with the editing. Still trying to get more content up on my channel. I was using iMovie because VideoPad just crashed on me and I couldn't get it back up. So, you know, I've been working with iMovie all day, right? And when it was time for me to upload onto YouTube, it wouldn't accept my username and my password. So, you know, I went online and tried to, you know, find a fix for it. Apparently, it's common for this thing to happen, for iMovie not to accept your username and your password. So I don't know what the deal is. So I downloaded VideoPad again, and it started to, it worked. So I'm back on VideoPad. You know what I'm saying? Back on VideoPad, man. Get my money's worth. You know, I thought I had flushed some money down the drain. I know it sounds crazy, me paying for VideoPad. I know it's, you know, a whole lot of people out there getting it for free. I hear something. I heard some bumping around. It could be home already. I don't know what that was, but yeah, man. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll have 2 videos up on my channel. I got a boatload of content that I need to edit and upload. So be looking out for that. You know what I mean? Subscribe to my channel, please. Like my videos. It would be greatly appreciated. You know what I mean? Yeah, but anyway, man. Good night, YouTube family. I'm out of here, man. Peace.